How many metalheads do you need to change a light bulb? 3. One to change a light bulb and 2 others to argue the old one was way better. Hey YouTube, my name is Sven. Welcome to the Metal Foundry. I wanted to raise a topic that is come to my attention, especially following the media after Graspot Metal meeting. This is a topic that's very important to me, been also primordial when I was growing up in the metal scene and so on. That really occurred to me, that it happened to me myself, but I've seen it happening with other people, with other guys, and I wanted to speak about gatekeeping. We metalheads are a bit like Italian football fans, or the tifosi. I don't know if I pronounced that one right, I don't care. And I wanted to address gatekeeping, because we metalheads are, as I said, one of the most loyal fans that are there, because we will support our favorite bands, our favorite music genre through thick and thin. We will always be there in the front row. We can wait for hours and hours just to see our favorite acts and our favorite fans. We come together to the festivals, we drink beers, we have lots of fun, and we don't necessarily not even go for the acts themselves, but just go there for the atmosphere. And we are also a very jolly bunch, because when I speak to people that first get to know me, and when I tell them I listen to metal music, I'm also a metal artist, they always say, oh yeah, remember going to my very first metal festival? Well, very cool, because you never see guys fighting, you never see people fighting, everybody's having fun, and you all look big and scary and hairy, but once you get to know you, you're just a bunch of teddy bears. And most of the time I can agree with that. But also sometimes, and this is where I can get sketchy, but hey, sometimes I really believe, and I am one of them, sometimes I believe we can also be a bunch of whining drama queens. Yeah, myself included. Because we don't like changes, or not very often. When something new comes to our beloved metal realm or metal music genre, when some new act gets there and it gets too popular, we might disown it, like, I supported them when they were still underground, they were so cool, but now they're known and I have to share them with a lot of other fans. I don't like them anymore. So next to drama queens, we can also be a bit possessive. And I think Corey Taylor also one of the first that I heard, big names that I heard admitting that. I think he was speaking about Metallica when they got in the picture again because of Stranger Things, and that they used Master Puppets there. And I believe there was an interview somewhere where he said that, yeah, basically they were our band, and then all of a sudden we had to share them with everybody else, and felt weird for them in a way. And I can imagine that, because you've grown up with the band, you follow them, you buy all their albums and their merch, and then you identify with what they sing and what they do, and all of a sudden you see them going in a complete different direction. And yeah, that can be hard. I can imagine that can be hard. Small intervention by future Sven as I'm editing this video right now. I made a mistake in this part. This was not when Metallica was in the picture because of Stranger Things. This was also because of the Black Album, and I believe is an interview from 2022 where Corey Taylor is saying the following thing. It was one of those things where it was different, and we didn't know how to feel about different at the time, especially for a band like this. And then the more attention they got, the less they felt like ours. They were being taken from us. So that was my point I wanted to make in this part. And the way I see things, and this just doesn't only happen within metal music, it also happens within other subcultures. We will always have trendsetters, you'll always have the founders, the trendsetters, then you have the first followers or the early adopters. And then you have the latecomers, and then you also have people that don't know anything about metal at all, that buy a metal shirt from H&M and I never heard a band. And those are very often labeled as posers. So at least for that part I can agree. If you listen to metal, or if you buy a metal shirt from a band, you should at least know what it stands for. Because I can imagine you want to go for a certain look, but if you don't know anything about it, you should do at least some groundwork. So yeah, that was me also being guilty of gatekeeping in a way. But when there is a classical singer, classical music singer, singing one song on national television, or not even on national television, I think it was a radio broadcast, and gets popular, and they say, okay, sounds cool. And then they do a complete show with a guy on grass spot metal beating. That's also awesome. Very popular. I think even the marquee was full. You couldn't even get there if you wanted to see him. All fair, all fun and games. And then they say, okay, it's very successful. Let's do that again and then book a tour across different venues. Still cool, for me at least. And then, okay, let's bring the album out on CD and on DVD. Because, yeah, they can make money with it. But it also offers the opportunity to people that could not be there to experience it for themselves as well. All of a sudden, you hear people complaining because it's getting too commercial, he's got nothing to do with metal, and they're basically closing the doors for that. Because I don't know why. Are they afraid that people make fun of the metal genre? Or that people get access to the metal genre, or that it becomes too popular? Because I think that could be a great thing. I mean, basically, the art doesn't change. The audience just gets bigger. I mean, we do not own a certain genre of music, as we do not own a certain band. I discovered Metallica at an age where Load and Reload were already a thing. I think when those albums got out, I think in 95 and 96, I think I was 7, 8 years old, so I didn't give a damn about metal music. I didn't even know it existed, apart from our neighbor blasting Pantera records and my mom being angry for that because I couldn't sleep when it was late in the evening. Very funny story though. Because now I grew up being a metalhead myself and my mom goes to Volbeat concerts. Come on. Change is good, right? That's actually the biggest example that change is good. Because first, my mom was angry with our next door neighbor and now she's going to Grasspot Metal meeting herself. Come on. Hey. Anyway. So I got sidetracked by the story about my mom. But anyway, let's go back on topic about Load and Reload. When those albums came out, a lot of fans, Metallica fans, were basically throwing away their CDs because Metallica was selling out and going in a complete different direction. They did not agree with that. Okay, if you think that, that's okay, that's good for you. Those two albums are still two of my favorite Metallica albums because they tried to go in a different direction, they dared to be different. Yeah, that is cool as well. That's cool as hell. At least if you ask me. And change is not necessarily a bad thing. Because, you know, that light bulb from the beginning of the video, it's now a LED lamp. It's now LED. But it lasts longer. And it can give the same warmth. It's just made different. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You can still see in the dark. It's basically the same thing. And if you want to go around on that, and if you want to put the same analogy on metal music, I think we are in a great time. And now we go back to gatekeeping. For those who do not know it, my definition of gatekeeping is closing the door on changes and on newcomers and making it difficult, at least, for new influences or new people to enter in a certain subculture or in a certain atmosphere or a certain environment. I was looking for that word. And if you ask me, that's just plain stupid, because by keeping the gates closed on that certain subculture, you also create a certain phenomenon we don't really want. Because if you look at the biggest headliners at the festival nowadays, they're all the same guys. They're just getting older. Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and so on. And Guns N' Roses and Metallica. And very rarely you see a new band coming up that is able to break through that glass ceiling and becomes the next big thing, like Gojira, for example. But still, they will never or very seldom reach that level of the other bands, and this is stupid. Partly because of gatekeeping maybe, or maybe because you want to keep them in the underground. Like Lorna Shore, I've heard people saying about Lorna Shore, they got too popular and they don't like it anymore because they're getting commercial or the hype is gone. Everything is built around hypes, and there's also a bit of the responsibility of the internet, of course. People have a very short attention span, that's why TikTok is working that well, that's why YouTube Shorts are going well, that's why these reels on Facebook and Instagram are performing well, because people have a shorter attention span, but also the way of consuming information and consuming music is changing because of all of that. And then you get a new forum, you get a new platform for new bands and new acts to rise up, to stand up and to amalgamate, to create different other genres altogether, like you have with... And the same thing also basically happens with Sleep Token. Sleep Token, they got out of nowhere, or even though they exist for a couple of years already. But then again, for the really true cult metal fans, they're not metal. And that's just stupid, because that creates a fan base of people that can discover other groups and bands as well. And if younger people get in touch with metal music, with our beloved genre, that's new blood for our... That's basically new blood for the music genre. That's new spirits, new souls to be conquered by the other bands, by the existing bands, by the already established bands, but also a platform and a way to have new bands to create their own music and their own style and trying to make a difference. This can also be a topic for another video, because things always come back in cycles. You now have the revival of new metal, and you also had the revival of thrash metal and speed metal. Speed metal bands are since a couple of years already. So things really never go away. They just hide away in a corner for a while, and they live there and they stay there. And all of a sudden, somebody from another corner notices that corner and they say, hey, that's cool, I want to know more about this. And he brings other people following over there. And all of a sudden, that genre becomes popular again. And this is very cool, because all of a sudden things are fashionable again. Yeah, I guess what I really wanted to say in this monologue is to try to bring a message to you all, and then to try to convince you to keep an open mind and keep the doors open and welcome new friends and members to the family, because we are all one happy family anyway. And to the younger viewers or to the beginning aspiring musicians, hold on and keep on going. Never give up. Don't give up and never stop dreaming. Don't give up and never stop dreaming. To the younger audience and to the younger viewers and to the new members of the metal family, or the existing members of the metal family, keep going to shows, bring your friends along, make our family bigger, because the more we are, the longer our genre can exist. And I think there's always room for one more, always room for new members of the family and new friends and new bands. So that's basically all what I wanted to say to you this week, guys. If you made it this far in the video, thank you very much for listening. Also, give me your opinion in the comment section. What do you think of gatekeeping, or if you even have an experience with that? If you experience gatekeeping yourself, doesn't matter which genre you have it, but if you experience it, just let me know in the comment section. We can start a discussion about this. We can even start a movement against it if you want. Anyway, that's all from me this week. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section what you think. And if you like the content I'm creating on this channel and you want to help me grow my channel, please subscribe and click the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. My name is Sven, you've been watching the Metal Foundry, and I look forward to see you in a new video. Bye!